Quick demo of how to create an application in OutSystems with rich text editing. Today I'm going to use one of the text editors for which you already have integration components in the OutSystems Forge. You could integrate others, of course, but if you search for what you see is what you get in the OutSystems Forge. You'll see there's a bunch of editors that are already available. We're going to use this one, the CK editor that is already installed in my environment. So installation is already done. I'm going to create a blank application just to keep it simple. So I'm going to create, in this case, I'm going to web application, could also do mobile. And let's select one of our themes. And let's create, for example, a news editor application. Let's edit news articles. Okay, and we will upload one particular icon, the application. Okay, news editing, and I'm going to create the app. Creating one module, and now we need to create the application. We'll keep it simple today, so because the focus is rich text editing. So I am going to create an application with only one table. Let's call it article. Okay, and this article will have a title with 150 characters. It will have an article text with 2000 characters, and let's also purchase the created date just to keep it a bit more complete. Okay, keep it very simple. To focus on the essential, we have one table, and now we are going to create the interfaces to edit that table. With OutSystems, you can accelerate with a simple drag and drop. For now, we don't have any text editing, so all we are doing is listing the article's information in the first page in the app, and we also created the article detail page. So if we navigate, you will see that we have a listing of articles, and of course, we have the detail of our articles. I'll just adjust a bit the look and feel, keep it longer. This could be higher. Well, we don't have any rich text editing capabilities. I'm actually going to deploy the application just so that you see the functionality that is in this version of the application, and then we will add on the rich text editing. Deployment done. I'm going to open the application in the browser, and here we go. We can see that we have the article listing page. For now, you have no articles, and if I create a new article, I'll have a simple article with no text editing. Cool. Now let's go back to our application model, and now let's improve it, adding the rich text editing capability. I'm going to click Manage Dependencies to add the dependency to our CK editor. In the Manage Dependencies window, we can see lots of reusable components that are deployed in my server. In this case, we want to use a visual widget that is provided by the CK editor component. And now you'll see how easy it is to make this a rich text editor. All I need to do is to drag this new CK editor widget that is available in my application that I'm referencing. And I just need to say, I want you to apply rich text editing to the article text component. Okay, and we use this article text.id that gives us the runtime ID of this object in the page. That's about it for the editing. The only thing, the additional thing that we need to do is, now that we made that into a rich text editor, what will be stored in that particular field will be HTML. So that means that we should not escape the content in the text that is displayed once that is displayed on the list. Otherwise, we'll see the HTML text on the page. We don't want that. We want it to be rendered as HTML, so we just put escape content no, and by clicking one click publish, we will be able to see the updated version of the application, but now with the rich text editing capabilities. So let's open the application in the browser with our brand new rich text editing capability. I'm going to create a new article. This article will be about the OutSystems Lotus Notes migration playbook. So this is an article that we launched, and we could say OutSystems has recently. Okay. So this is just as an example, an article. You see I put bold, I put it with just a Control B. It's great content. So you have what you would expect from a rich text editor. You have different fonts. You could change the color. You can just use italics. You can also upload images. So for example, here I'm going to click image, and you have multiple ways of uploading your image. One of them, of course, the simplest form is simply select one image from your hard drive, send it to the server. It will be automatically stored in the server. And here you can actually format your image. For example, I don't want it as big. I'll just put it as a small 100 pixels image in the article. Cool. So we have created it. We can put a creation date. I'm going to save the article, and now we will be able to see in read mode this content that is being displayed. One last thing that I'd like to share is that the CK editor, as any modern JavaScript library, has a lot of options. So for example, if I just search online for CK editor configuration object, you will see that it's a fairly complex library with lots and lots of options that you can use to configure things as simple as the color scheme, which are the buttons and options available in the editor. You can add plugins as spell checking, counters, etc. So one of the things you can do with the integration that is already done in the CK editor is exactly defining that configuration. So it's actually a pretty simple interface. All we need to do is to pass it to this config variable. So if we want to do that, just as an example, I'm going to create a configuration local variable, and I'm going to define it in the preparation logic of my screen. So I'm going to say that the configuration is, and then here I'm going to use a sample configuration that I already have available. I will paste it here, my configuration. Okay, and if you notice, this is exactly what's defined in the documentation of CK editor. For example, one of the things that we're doing is removing buttons, defining how the toolbars should look like. We're even adding a few plugins to our CK editor object. So we have our configuration defined, and all we need to do is to pass that configuration object to my CK editor widget and click our one-click publish button again. Open the new version of the application, and now we see that the editor looks a bit simpler with less buttons, just as configured with the new configuration. Thank you.